Many people believe that Cosmic Fury gave us our first ever Orange Ranger, but that is not exactly true. So of course Cosmic Fury did give us our first official Orange Ranger in all forms of description of the word, but the lore and the history of Orange Rangers goes so far further back. Like everything with Power Rangers, we're going to start with Super Sentai, and we're going to go all the way back to 1979 with the third ever Super Sentai series called Battle Fever J. Again, third season ever. And very quickly before we continue, I apologise for any butchering of some of these Japanese words. I'm sorry. But anyway, Battle Fever J, third season of Sentai, had a character called Battle Kozak. And out of the two Super Sentai seasons that came before Battle Fever J, they were the first Orange Sentai. Now, Battle Kozak was the alter ego to two different people. The first person was Kensaku Shishiri, which was, the first Battle Kozak, but then died, unfortunately, for love. Died for love, literally died for love. And then the Battle Kozak was replaced by Makoto Jin. And then we didn't get another Orange Ranger till 30 years later. I mean, technically, it's a technicality, and we'll get to that. But 30 years later, in 2014, we got ToQger, and Tokyo 6 Go, which is just Tokyo 6, joined the team. And there was technically two forms. So first of all, the Orange Ranger was Ticket, who is just like a companion of the ToQgers, just a little puppet monkey looking thing. We got an actual 6th Ranger called Akira Ninjino. And I think even though the first official Orange Ranger was in Battle Fever J, I think this depiction of an Orange Ranger is kind of what we'd be more familiar with nowadays. So by no means am I calling him the first Orange Ranger / Sentai, but I definitely think this is the more familiar look. Then just a few years later, in 2017, we had Zyuohger, and we had Geo Bird. So the Geo Bird is a guy named Bud, and he is the Orange Zyuranger, and he pretty much has the exact same suit as Geo Eagle, the Red Ranger, but he's orange, and the highlights, instead of being black, are blue. And he was essentially just a standard 6th Ranger who was orange, but there's an episode where Geo Bird merges with the Red Ranger, Geo Eagle, and they become Geo Condor, and they become a Purple Ranger, which I don't know how that's a thing. Orange and red doesn't make purple in the slightest, but, I haven't seen the episode, maybe there's a specific reason for it. And they become Geo Condor and become a Purple Ranger, which I think is sick, because we love the purples. The purples are always underrated as well. Clearly not as underrated as the oranges, but we'll move on. Ooh, correction from earlier. I said that Zyuohger was 2017. It actually wasn't. It ended in 2017. It started in 2016, because in 2017 is where we got another Orange Ranger, back-to-back Orange Rangers. You'll have to see it. And that was in Kyuranger. Now, Kyuranger is probably one of the more well-known Sentai seasons to people who don't really watch Sentai, just because of how recent things have been with Cosmic Fury and the amount of talk around adapting Kyuranger. Now in Kyuranger, the Orange Ranger was called Sasori Orange, and the character's name was Stinger, and it was all Scorpion based. And guess what? Was once evil at some point. Best Rangers were evil first. This is probably one of the coolest Orange Ranger suits. I do like the ToQger one, but I mean, I just love those Kyuranger suits. Also, there was apparently an anniversary special with Gokaiger where Stinger became Gaizorg, or as we would know him as Void Knight. I don't know if that's fucking true. I couldn't find anything else on him rather than that one, the one part of the wiki that I saw. Crazy. Another Orange Ranger moving on to a purple suit. I don't know if that's true. Somebody tell me. Somebody let me know. So those 4 Rangers were the sort of official Orange Sentai Rangers that we've had. And apparently the newer season of Sentai, the name's been announced as Boon Boomga, or Boon Boomja, but nothing's been revealed about it. Apparently the colour scheme is red, blue, black, pink, and then orange. So maybe we've got a new Orange Ranger on the rise. Let's see. I'd hope so. That'd be pretty cool. But they're the official ones. Now we'll move on to the technicalities. In Kaku Ranger, which is what we adapt into Alien Rangers, there's somebody called Orange Lily, but they're kind of like a Blue Centurion deal. They're pretty much just what they call an armored ally. So whether you want to count that as an Orange Ranger, I'm not sure. I mean, if you count Blue Centurion as a Blue Ranger and Magnet Defender as a Black Ranger, and Void Knight is a Purple Ranger, then sure, they're an Orange Ranger as well. But if not, then that's fine. And the other technicality, which will link us smoothly into actual Power Rangers, is Deca Swan from Deca Ranger, or as we know, Cat from SPD. They're kind of an Orange Ranger, kind of a White Ranger. It's not really mentioned. Deca Swan is just called Deca Swan. Cat Ranger, just called Cat Ranger. I did see a video whilst in the process of writing this by Beauty Baby Yaga, who settled the debate on whether they were an Orange Ranger or a White Ranger. Pretty much both. Because Hasbro doesn't even know, and they own the brand at this point. They were categorized as an Orange Ranger in a recent post, but also in an actual sort of canon explaining book, they're classed as a White Ranger. So they're both, I suppose, but if they're both a White and an Orange Ranger, I guess canonically they are an Orange Ranger. And then within the main Power Rangers TV timeline, we have what is kind of our first official Power Ranger that is orange, which is of course Fern from Cosmic Fury, and you know, that's where this entire debate started from. So yeah, good to see you, Fern, good to see you. Now here's the issue with the main sort of TV prime timeline for Power Rangers. There is technically one more Orange Ranger. In an episode of SPD, we see Boom becoming the Orange SPD Ranger. Now this is a dream sequence. It's completely in Boom's head, and it doesn't actually come to be in real life. So it's technically not an Orange Ranger we have, but it is, but it isn't. It's a false Ranger. It's a false Ranger. And then speaking of false Rangers, we also have Dino Charge Orange, which is an alien called Hokux Pokux, which showed up in a random German comic book that had one issue, and just a shape-shifting alien called Hokux Pokux becomes Dino Charge Orange, and that's it. So they're the false Rangers, they're the fake ones. Let's move on to the Boom comics. Now, the first one that springs to me straight away is Skull. Bulk and Skull become Power Rangers. Again, Bulk becomes a Purple Ranger. We love up the purples and orange, and Skull becomes an Orange Ranger. Now, the dinosaur / animal that the power set is technically after is a Terror Bird, and I think the Zord is also called a Featherdactyl. I don't know whether that's an actual thing. That's what he is. And I think the suit looks really cool. The comic is pretty fun as well, where Bulk and Skull become Power Rangers. Moving on is the Solar Rangers from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, there's a few issues that the Solar Rangers were in. Apparently there was a Solar Ranger many moons ago whose identity is unknown, and I think was male. But the second Solar Ranger and the main Orange Solar Ranger is called Remy, and they're an alien, and they're sort of cat-like, sort of not, and they are in, if I'm correct, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 32, 33, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39 and 50. I don't know why they're not in 35, that's just the information I've been given. And I think this is one of the coolest Orange Ranger suits we've had so far. I think even cooler, I don't know about cooler than Q Ranger, or maybe even Cat Ranger, but still, it's a pretty sick suit. Now we've got possibly one of my favourite ones we could have had, and it's the Dimensions X Turtle. An Orange Ranger that is Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers crossed over many times, some in good ways, some in bad. There was a crossover in the comics where the Turtles morphed, and also the Rangers were, like the Turtles, just humanoid versions of their animals, and like Zack was a massive mastodon, and it was sick. Anyway, Michelangelo at some point becomes a yellow Mighty Morphin Turtle Ranger, but then there's a Dimensions X sort of variant. It's the same sort of thing as like Cat, and you know, just it's basically orange, but it's not really, but it is. But yeah, an Orange Ranger, an Orange Turtle Ranger, and I think it's pretty sick. And finally is the Beast Morphers Orange. Now, Beast Morphers Orange is, or Grid Battle Force Orange technically, is a kid named Tyler Rinker, and it's a real life kid who was part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they had a collab. He wanted to be a Power Ranger, and Hasbro said, let's do it. And he became Beast Morphers Orange, and the cover of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 40 was Beast Morphers Orange, and they kind of said, we'll make it a tie-in comic canon that this kid exists in the comics, and I thought that was really cool. So yeah, technically Grid Battle Force Orange exists, and yeah, that's sort of the final Orange Ranger that we know of. Now, of course, as we've stated, there's Super Sentai, there's Power Rangers, there's fake Rangers, there's comic variants, there's grey areas with armoured allies, and you know, Rangers that are orange but aren't really. But overall, the lore of the Orange Rangers and the catalogue of Orange Rangers went a lot deeper than I thought. I knew of Q Ranger, I know of ToQger. There was a couple that I knew of. I didn't know of Duo Bird before researching this video, and I never knew of the Dimensions X Turtle either. I knew of Michelangelo becoming a Yellow Ranger, didn't see him have this orange variant, which is really cool. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I did realise in the process of writing this that Estee actually has a very similar video on Orange Rangers, and I did check it out. I was considering on making this video because I didn't really want to just repeat information and kind of copy an already done format, but I saw that he only did the actual Power Rangers, and he didn't really delve into Super Sentai. So, you know, I thought I'll still do the video, but definitely check his out as well. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll also check out the Beauty Baby Yaga video on where the cat is a white Orange Ranger, because that was really cool as well. It was a really fun watch. Out of all the Orange Rangers I've shown today, which suit do you think is the coolest? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.